stitching Dazzles is another way that you can add embellishments.
Absolutely, and I think it's a perfect way for adding a little cozy touch to your fall and your Christmas cards.
Join us. Now the stitch Dazzles come in package like this, just like the regular Dazzles. And on the back there's the stitching guide.
Right, so you want to hang on to the stitching guide. I usually, when I take these out of the package, I punch a hole through all of them and then put a little clip through all of them too, so I have all of my instructions pulled together. That's
a great idea because they can get separated. Yeah. Here is a finished example.
Here is the cutest result. Now,
darling?
These Christmas cards, and we'll talk about some autumn cards too, they're just charming, and they look difficult, but they are very easy to do.
And I have to tell you, Laura confessed to me that she was not excited about stitching. And then I said, okay, so then what happened? And she said, actually, she loves doing them. Yeah. And it was great fun.
Yeah, and you know, I don't do a lot of sewing, and I thought, oh, I just don't know about this. Once you get going, you realize how easy it is, and you get into kind of a rhythm with it. And they're very, very quick to do.
Let's show you how quick and easy. Okay, we're gonna bring in.
Demonstrate?
Yeah, we're gonna demonstrate.
Okay.
So
I'll bring in some of the must-have tools. This includes a mouse pad, and you've got some paper. And of course your Dazzles.
Okay, so what? Okay, we'll do the gingerbread. We're not going to do the whole house, but just a little bit. So they're different in that there is not an innie. They are.
It's just the outline.
It's just it's just the solid image.
And it's clear with the metallic edging, so you could use this on any paper.
Yes, and it'll match perfectly. Now, as you can see, they're really a sturdy material, and all of this gold etching stays on it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So I'll pop that right there.
Okay.
And then there are, then I grab my glasses. Don't want you to miss anything. And then,
we don't want you to miss anything, especially when you have that cool retractable pick in your hands.
Actually, I love this. I think this is just so handy. We use it for brads, but it's perfect here. And there are holes.
Yeah, and you need to poke the holes, and maybe we can get a bit more close in here because all of the holes are printed onto, you can see on the chimney here, they're printed. So that's where you need to poke your hole. Now, when I was doing these, I thought, I'll just use my sewing needle to poke those holes.
And
it works once, and then your needle bends.
Oh, and so if you have a fine needle,
then it goes through your finger. So just use the retractable pick. It makes it so much easier.
And the pick is probably maybe even a little wider, especially if you're using a delicate.
Yeah.
So you're just going to go. I put this on a mouse pad, and that way I can just poke to my heart's content.
Exactly.
And so you're not having to guess of anything. And if you're not sure, again, the stitching guide's on the back, so you'll see all of them. So you just poke all of those.
Right.
And then we're going to. I haven't decided which one I'm going to stitch.
Why don't you do the chimney?
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to retract my blade.
Your able assistant.
Yes. Now, we're going to use, in fact, let me show you these.
Oh, these are phenomenal. These are new from DMC.
Yes, these are called color infusions. And when I showed the people at DMC the Stitch Dazzles, they were very excited, and they said, "Oh, but look what we can show you!" And it was the color infusions.
Of course.
And these are the ones, as you can see, all the colors have metallics mixed in. They're just beautiful.
It's one of those things you just want to pet. Now, the other nice thing is that they come on these, they're called shuttles. So you've got all of this pulled together and coordinated for you, so you don't have to, end up with, well, a big tangled mess of fibers. But you can see, I mean, this is just gorgeous.
They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. And you can slip them on a ring like this, and that way you've got them all together.
You can also use those not just for the Stitch Dazzles, of course, but you can tie them on the top of a tag. You can do all kinds of things with them.
Now, the color infusions, like embroidery floss, has several strands. There
all
are
twirled together.
There's 6 plies. You're going to use 1 or 2 on the Dazzles at a time. So
I usually use 2.
Do you?
I've seen that works best.
And then you're just going to cut off the length you want to use, and then start pulling. And
miraculously, it does not snarl out.
It doesn't. And then if you find that some point it does kind of stop, you can just pull on all 6 together and then start pulling it again. So,
easy.
Okay, then we're going to thread our needle.
And
I'll be right back.
Stitch.
Okay, I've put a knot at the end of my thread.
Okay, and again, you've got 2 strands of that
I do.
embroidery thread.
Now I'm going to just follow the directions and start from the back.
It's always good to have that diagram sheet in front of you while you're stitching or just by your side, because even though it can seem self-evident and you can do your own pattern should you want to,
sure,
it's nice to have that just easily at hand. So you're stitching the chimney.
I'm just really just following the lines of it.
Look how easy that is.
Yeah, just...
It really, I mean, it's one of those things that it looks so complicated when you see the actual finished design.
Well, and
you don't have to tell anybody how easy it is.
And if you're not a stitcher, I mean, it's just really easy to do. The other thing I did, you'll notice, is I kind of whacked out this piece of paper.
Right.
When I'm done stitching, then I'll go back and trim right along the edge of the dazzle itself.
Okay, so don't try and do that beforehand, because especially with smaller pieces like that chimney, it's going to be a little bit tricky to handle that.
I think what you want is to have a nice sized bit of paper to be holding on to, because then you don't have to worry about that. You don't want to make it any, it's just easier with a large piece. So these are straight lines, as you can see.
It's just as complicated as this. Maybe set this down so we can see what you've done so far.
Let's get in tight.
Close. And there you go. So you've only really got 1 more stitch to go.
Yeah, and you can see it's right there. And let's bring in the finished piece again.
Okay.
And that way you can just see where all
and
of
you had done that in green, but she's done it in red here. So you can play with the color options depending on what you've got on the rest of your card, which is really wonderful.
Exactly.
And I love that if we can get in close here on this cute little gingerbread house. She's used red again for the candy canes, and then we've also used some green around here.
And when you're going into these things that are these kind of diamonds, it's just like this is 1 stitch, then another stitch, another. So it's all straight stitches. French knots are another stitch that's used a little bit, and again, easy to do. This is out of the greetings, and this is a separate dazzle piece.
And this is included in this week's bundle.
Yes, okay.
So we've got that. You want to see more?
I do, I do.
Let's bring in this beautiful, beautiful snowflake. I love using the cool colors, and I like having this purple option on here too. So we've stitched along onto the snowflake. Let's get closer.
Getting close.
So you don't have to just trust me on this.
Yeah.
But stitched in the center and then trimmed around the outside edges of that snowflake. I think it's amazing.
This is just straight thread, but if you had used like a purple, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Gorgeous,
in the fusions?
Gorgeous. And then these little snowflakes have been stitched, cut out, and then popped up on foam tape.
Right.
And there are some that aren't stitched, actually. This little guy here, some of the smaller pieces. Now, another fun thing that you can do
isn't that cute?
Is freeform a little bit of stitching, and this is very easy to do. You'll just do the same technique of poking and then sliding that through there, so it looks like it's at the top and at the bottom.
Very nice.
And then that little tag.
Inside?
Let's look inside.
Some more.
And we've got a few
Same
more.
techniques.
Same techniques. And she has stitched. She's done the stitching before she glued her paper down, so you don't have, on the inside of the card, you don't have all those
threads
little,
they're
snarls of things. I think this is darling.
Our little snow people.
She's so cute.
Yes. And this is a place where you can see the stitching is to add embellishments. You've got this wonderful embossing that's been done, or etching that's been done on the
sticker.
dazzles. Yes.
So you don't have to do that.
Right. So we're doing the top.
How cute is that?
Cute,
I love it.
Very simple. And then snowflakes were added. This is another of the greetings. And inside, the blessings on a tag. So this is out of the card makers.
Yeah, and then the greetings come in gold and silver, and you have both of those in the bundle, so you have 2 color combos. This is with the gold, obviously. Beautiful use of that border.
Let's get in close to see that candy cane border.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to tell because it is, gold on the dark. It's difficult to tell on your monitor, not in person. And then the French knots are accenting across here. And if we can move over to the bells, there is also a very, very subtle stitching along the edge here, some X stitching along here, French knots, and then a little bit up here as well.
It's beautiful, and that's been raised up on foam tape also, as are the stars. This is a great technique to get that nice big triangle, and then inside another of the label from the card makers.
Beautiful. And happy holidays. We've got this gorgeous effect. Let's go closer.
Tighter.
And take a look. This is using the color infusions.
It is.
And
this is the green.
It's beautiful.